Good morning, children. So, in today's class, we are going to start our new chapter, that is states of matter. In that, gases and liquids we are going to study. So, states of matter. What do you mean by matter, children? Anything that has mass and occupies space is called matter, isn't it? We already know what do you mean by solid, liquid, gases. If we see the example for solid, we can take a bottle. Okay, a solid has a rigid shape, isn't it? So the intermolecular space between the molecules will be very less. That is why it will be a very hard substance. It is incompressible and it cannot flow easily, isn't it? So that all comes under solid characteristic properties. So what are the characteristic properties of solid? It is having a definite shape and volume. It will be having definite shape and volume. The intermolecular space between the particles is less, so that the intermolecular force of attraction between these particles are more, and they cannot flow like liquids, isn't it? So they are having a rigid shape, a particular shape due to this intermolecular force and due to this intermolecular space. So they are about a solid example I have taken bottle, and a liquid example I have taken water or oil, anything. So here what happens? They do not have a particular shape. They have a definite volume, but they do not have definite shape. Why? Because they occupy the shape of the container. They attain the shape of the container. And here liquids having a flowing property, means they can flow from one place to another. How? Because due to their intermolecular space is more. When intermolecular space is more, the intermolecular force of attraction will be less. So when attraction is less, what happens? The particles will be move away each other. That means they can easily flow, isn't it? So that is about liquid. When we come to the gas example, O2 or CO2, anything you can take. So here they will not have a definite shape or definite volume, understand? And here they can flow easily because the intermolecular space between the particles are very large and force is very less. Due to that, the gas particles have no definite shape or no definite volume. So here one thing, children, for example, if we take any individual molecule of a liquid, so say for individual molecule of a liquid like this, we cannot see with our naked eye, but I am saying if we keep that individual molecule of an water in your hand, we cannot observe that it makes wet to your hand, isn't it? So we cannot make our hand wet. Or if we take an individual molecule of a liquid, it does not boil. But if you take so many molecules of water or so many molecules of liquid, it can boil. So that means a collection of water molecules have wetting property, isn't it? A molecule, a drop, not a drop, a molecule we cannot see with our naked eye. It is not having any wetting property, wetting, okay? And whenever we collect a group of molecules, number of molecules, they can boil and they can have some wetting properties. But whereas individual molecules do not wet. So water can exist as ice, which is a solid. It can exist as a liquid, or it can exist in a gaseous state as water vapor or steam. So this is the three types of states of matter what we have learned till now. Now intermolecular force, I said intermolecular force. So before knowing that intermolecular force, two types of forces are there, that is intermolecular force, intramolecular force. Okay, inter means between. In previous, in hydrogen bond also I said inter means between, intra means within. Okay, inter means between any two, intra means within only. So here intermolecular force of attraction, that means here this is one molecule of water, this is one molecule of water. Here the bond what you can see between these two molecules is called intermolecular force. And next, look at here also H2O molecule only. In this molecule, between them, between this hydrogen and oxygen, or between this hydrogen and hydrogen, there will be some force. That force is called intramolecular force. I hope you understood. Or with another example I'll compare. Okay, in a street, two families were living. Okay, between the two families, the bond which is present. See, look at here, two houses are there. So here the people are there. So many people will be there in this house and here also. So the bond which is present between these two families is called intermolecular force. And here between these people only some force of attraction, that means some bond will be present. That bond is called intramolecular force. I hope you understood the difference between intermolecular force and intramolecular force. So next comes to intermolecular force. What do you mean by intermolecular force? Intermolecular force means between two molecules or between two families, I said here, no. So between any two particles. So intermolecular forces are of two types, means they will be having both attractive and repulsive forces. Intermolecular forces having both attractive and repulsive forces. So attractive intermolecular forces are known as van der Waals forces. What I said, intermolecular forces have both attractive and repulsive forces. Attractive forces are known as van der Waals forces. And here again van der Waals forces are of three types. If you see the van der Waals forces, it is of three types. What they are? They are London forces, dipole-dipole forces, dipole-induced dipole forces. So London forces. So we are talking about attractive forces. They are known as van der Waals forces. Van der Waals forces are of three types. They are London forces, dipole-dipole forces, dipole-induced dipole forces. So before moving into this matter, we should know something about polar and non-polar molecules. We have already discussed what you mean by polar and non-polar molecules. So what do you mean by polar molecule, children? Polar molecules occur when two atoms do not share electrons equally in an covalent bond, is known as polar molecules. What do you mean by polar molecules? If any two molecules are there, here look at here, the sharing of electrons will not be occurred or will not be taken place between the two. Sharing of electrons are not taken equally. So one will be giving more, another one will be giving less. So like that. Understand, here HF, hydrogen. So here hydrogen, here fluorine will be there. Fluorine is more electronegative than hydrogen. So how the electron moves? The electron moves towards the fluorine. So that we already discussed, isn't it? Yes. So such type of molecules are known as polar molecules. Polar molecules occur when two atoms do not share electrons equally in a covalent bond, are known as polar molecules. Example H2O, HF and H3 and so many you can write. Then what do you mean by non-polar molecules? Non-polar molecules occurs when two atoms shares electrons equally in a covalent bond. They are non-polar molecules. So example H2, O2, CH4. CH4 also the central atom will be carbon and remaining all four atoms will be surrounding the carbon, because carbon valency is 4. So each hydrogen is going to satisfy the valency of carbon and valency of hydrogen also, isn't it? So here look at here. So here equal sharing of electron takes place, so no need. But whereas in polar molecules between this hydrogen and fluorine, so when the electron moves towards the fluorine more electronegative, the fluorine will get partial negative charge, hydrogen will get partial positive charge. This is delta, okay, delta minus, delta plus. What we call it as? We call it as partial negative, partial positive charge. So whenever atoms acquire positive and negative charge, then a dipole is formed. When dipole is formed, they belongs to a polar molecule. What they are known as? They are known as polar molecule. Now we move into the matter that van der Waals forces are of three types, I said. In that first one is London forces. So London forces was a force which was introduced by a scientist named Fritz London. So to